The Great Hunger, or the Tempting of O'Hare, a ballad. In a lonely cell in Mountjoy jail, a man paced up and down, till he thought up a darling plan to make his captors frown. The news went out through Dublin town, through every street and pub. This winter will be long and hard, O'Hare is off his grub. The news was met with disbelief by those who knew O'Hare, but one skinny man sighed with relief, maybe now I'll get my share. And up in dear old Belfast town, it nearly caused a riot, till word came out, don't worry lads, I'm only on a diet. And a woman known as Nan O'Hare could not believe her ears. I've been trying to stop him gorbin for over 30 years. And down in Hughes's bakery, men handed in their vans, and many housewives shed a tear into their empty pans. Grown men stood around in groups and wept, broken by the ordeal. In 30 years I've never known O'Hare to miss a meal. But up in Mountjoy jail itself the special branch did meet, to think up heartless cruel ways to get O'Hare to eat. They laid out mounds of ham and eggs with soda farls around them. In better days the young O'Hare would certainly have downed them. They brought him lettuce and baked beans, they brought him fresh tomatoes. He said, I'm eating nothing till I get political status. They brought him sausage sandwiches, they brought him chicken and chips. Says he, I will not touch it or let it pass my lips. They tempted him with good roast beef, laid out on a silver platter. O'Hare roared out, away with you, or I'll dig you in the snatter. He curled his lips at pounds of steak, he laughed at best lamb chops, but he was sorely tempted when they showed him Hughes's baps. And when they brought him Irish stew, he made a noble stand. A stew cannot be Irish if made by Quisling's hands. The cunning bastards then brought in his favourite kippers, Manx. Our Gerard smiled disdainfully and merely said, no thanks. But the cunning of the special branch is hard to estimate. Correct intelligence for once informed their deeds of hate. For then those treacherous Dublin men with desperation savage stooped to the lowest trick of all. They cooked him ribs and cabbage. The noble nostril of O'Hare at once began to quiver. This was the basest torture his captors could deliver. From deep within their kitchens dark, the smell began to rise, and by the time the plate arrived, the tears rolled from his eyes. From Gerard's trembling lips there came a most distressful moan, to see the ribs so sweetly boiled and falling off the bone. And in those dark blue steel eyes at last was written stark defeat. He crawled across the cold cell floor and raised his hands to eat. But then a look of utter joy transformed his look of pain. Your bloody branchman's bungling has once more been in vain. For in amongst the cabbage green, between the ribs so pink, he spied a single bay leaf and smelt its horrid stink. Put lemonade and brandy, put sugar in my tea, but bay leaves in the bacon ribs is a Saxon travesty. The branchmen's smiles of triumph were overlaid with grief to see their aims defeated by a single bloody leaf. So listen all you quislings, and warning take from me, you cannot tempt an Irishman with foreign treachery. A lesson here for Irishmen is very clearly writ. Don't mess up Irish cooking by adding foreign shit. Don't add that sage and onion. Don't toy with leaves of bay. Support your local provies and eat the Irish way.